guys, welcome back to Joe and Tell. I am Joe, and I'm not on my front porch, as you can tell. I'm in my basement at the ping pong table. I just got a big shipment of bulk tobacco, pipe tobacco in today, and so I've got a lot of canning to do. And I thought maybe this would be a great opportunity to show you guys the process that I go through every time I order some new tobacco. I've ordered a couple of different bags of 2-ounce tobacco, and this is all from Smoking Pipes. And then I've got a few bags of 8-ounce tobacco of blends I really enjoy. So I will show you guys how I go about packaging both of these up for all my pipe smoking needs. So, and just a fair warning, I will probably be a little anal in this, and as some of you know from previous videos, maybe a little OCD, but hey, that's me. So, the first thing I like to do, this is Cornell & Deal's Crowley's Best, 2 ounces. So I have the little dusty digital scale here, and I just like to, usually Smoking Pipes is really good and generous, I've got to say, on the pipe tobacco they give you. But I always just like to throw it on here and see what we've got. So they say they gave me 2 ounces, but it's actually 2.18. So thank you, Smoking Pipes. But just like to check, make sure I'm getting what I'm paying for. So not really necessary, but something I will typically do. One thing that will help you out tremendously, which I have my pipe smoking friend to think about, is a stainless steel funnel. And I've got like 2 or 3 of these different sizes. I think I got them on Amazon, but it is extremely helpful in getting all the tobacco down into the jar without getting it everywhere and having to clean up a big mess. So again, not necessary, but very helpful. And then of course the jar. What are we going to put it in? So for my 2-ounce samples, I like to get these Kerr 8-ounce jars. And that fits 2 ounces of pipe tobacco perfectly. I think, what is it? It's however many ounces of tobacco times 4, and that's the ounce size jar you need. So if you've got 2 ounces of tobacco, times 4 is 8. So this is an 8-ounce jar that will hold 2 ounces of tobacco. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I do to get it in there. I get, you get 12 of these from store for like $15 or so. Sometimes you can find them on sale, but nonetheless, essentially, I've got my jar, and I do wash them all by hand before I put anything in them, and then let them air dry overnight. So these are all nice and clean and ready to go. But essentially, it's a pretty simple process. You put your funnel on top there, and then for the most fun part of the whole thing is you get to open up the tobacco, give it a nice good long sniff. Oh, it smells so good. Crowley's Best. I've never had it, so I'll probably be trying some of this after this video. But basically, I'll just dump it in there like that, and you'll have to kind of poke it down in there because it's so light and airy that see if I can show you guys this without dropping any. But that's kind of like what'll happen. It'll kind of mountain up on you. So you just kind of poke it down in there, and you can be pretty aggressive in how forceful you push it down in there. It'll pack down quite a bit, and so like I said, it won't look like, whoops, I lost some. It won't look like this amount of tobacco will fit into the jar, but I assure you, I've done this enough times that I know that it will. You just got to give it a good old packing to get it all down in there. And I'm sure most of you, this is old hat. You've done this 1,000 times probably. But I got a buddy who's just starting to get into pipe smoking, and anytime I would tell him anything, he's always like, "You need to show a video on that." I'm like, "Everybody knows how to do that." And he's like, "I don't." So, John, this is for you. I hope it's helpful, and I hope it leads to many bowls of pipe tobacco smoked together. Sometimes I'll give it a little bit of a shake if I can't get it all down in there, and then really press it down in there. It might be helpful to have like something heavy. I don't think a rolling pin would work, but something of that nature to kind of press it down for you. I think some people have used like the bottom of a bottle, like a beer bottle maybe, something like that. But yeah, so then it's in there. it's pretty much all contained. Like I said, I lost a couple of little bits here and there, but essentially that's all it is. And then the one thing that you want to make sure is that there's no tobacco around the lip, and that there's no tobacco in the lid of your jar, because that could affect the seal, and that could let air in, which will dry out your tobacco. On these littler jars, it's not as big a deal because I'm into these way more frequently, and these are like what I go to get a daily pipe smoke out of. So not that big of a deal as far as the seal, but it is way more important on the larger jars when you're going to be storing these for, a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever. And then the final last step of this whole process for me is, I'm going to have probably 15 jars after I'm finished here. So how the heck do I remember what's what? Well, another thing I have is I got a label maker. And so what I'll do, I don't know how well these are going to come across. Let's see if I can get close to the camera. You're all the way on the other side of the ping pong table. So Cornell and Diehl label. And then I've got the Crowley's Best, and the date I got it, and the fact that it's a bulk tobacco, so it wasn't a 10. And so then I will just peel these off of here. Put it right on top of the 10. And then there's the second part of this, which tells me what kind of tobacco. So the first sticker is for the brand, Cornell and Diehl. And then the second sticker is the tobacco name, Crowley's Best Bulk, 10/9/2024. Yeah. So there you have it. That's how I store my tobacco. And the process is exactly the same for something like for an 8-ounce bag of tobacco, but I will use, what are these? 32 ounce. So yeah, 8 times 4 is 32. A 32-ounce jar. And again, same process. I wash the thing before I got it, or before I use it. I think you can get, 12 of these for like $16 or something. So wash it thoroughly. I'll do the same process with the tobacco, jam it down in there, print out a label for it. The only thing I might do differently with this one is I may save some of this for one of the smaller jars so that I can keep this sealed without getting into it on a weekly basis and still be able to smoke. So this is 8 ounces of Pegasus. So that's something I smoke on a regular basis. So I would fill this up for long-term storage, and then I would probably fill up another jar, a smaller jar that I'll be getting into regularly, so I'm not cracking the seal on this, a couple times a week. This is supposed to sit and be at rest for 6 months possibly before I go through my jar and then have to fill it up again. So that's why I would do the 2 jars. But otherwise, that's pretty much how I keep all my tobaccos fresh. I've been doing it for a while now, and it's worked out really well. I don't think I've heard of anybody having any issues. Some of these lids may last. On the box it says the lids will last for like 18 months. That's for typical canning. So I don't know if that applies for tobacco, but I know that people have kept tobacco in these types of jars, mason jars, for a very, very long time without any issues. So anyway, like I said, I'm sure this is old news to most of you out there, but some of my friends wanted me to do this video. So there you have it. And I hope all your tobacco stays nice and fresh. I hope this was helpful. If you'd like and subscribe, that would be so much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.